Hello, this is VW's new California camper. It's a very nice medium-sized camper van with lots of convenient amenities and sleeping space for 4, which I have to test here in Finland. And to make sure I get under the skin of this tiny home on wheels, I'm going to be driving thousands of miles on mainly straight roads to see if it's comfortable or it makes you sleepy. Camping in places and temperatures you probably don't want to be camping in.
There's someone outside. And they keep doing donuts around the car.
I'll be going 200 miles north of the Arctic Circle for extra travel points.
And visiting the most northerly vehicle test centre in the world for some track time to see if it would be good at snow-based activities. Obviously.
I think my wheel speed is 70 miles an hour. I'm doing about 5.
We begin here in Helsinki by buying vital supplies for the trip ahead.
It's really important when you're on an adventure to make sure that you get the correct kinds of nutritional, extreme foods. After that, we've basically just got on with it, and first impressions are pretty good. This is a VW Ocean Edition California, and it comes with a 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine and 7-speed DSG gearbox. It's front-wheel drive, and yes, I have fitted winter tyres because that's the law here, and it's not particularly fast. It's got about 200-ish brake horsepower, 236 pounds-feet of torque, and it gets from 0 to 62 miles an hour in about 10 seconds. So it's not blistering, but it doesn't feel like it struggles with anything. It weighs 2.4 tonnes and you can put 456 kilograms of payload into it, which I have, so it's more of a sedate cruiser than anything else.
It's also a little bit noisy when you push it, but it sits like a rock at the speed limit and quietens right back, and it's got accurate enough steering and brakes that don't get worrying, even if they're not the last word in feel. I've been clunking through the miles, and with comfy captain's chairs and a decent stereo, it feels like the kind of vehicle that won't tire you out. More car than motorhome, in other words.
The only problem, I've got between 500 or 600 miles to do before our first stop tonight, right up the middle of Finland, and it all looks like this.
The first night, I couldn't really find anywhere pretty to camp, so I just slept in the car park of the hotel in which the photographer and videographer were staying. And I just made the lower bed and set the little petrol-powered auxiliary heater to do its thing so I didn't die in the night. It was camping in a car park, but it was also cheap. There were, however, some obvious disadvantages.
Harry?
Yeah?
Can I just pop up and use your loo?
No.
Too cold to get undressed yet. I'm just gonna have a wash.
(5:20). It got very cold in the night, so I cranked up the heater. And actually, it's been fine, but I wish I hadn't parked on a hill after I moved it, because my head is facing downhill. So all the blood's been in my head. Other than that, it's alright. You wouldn't believe it was like -10 or 15 or whatever, and I'm still alive. But now I've got to get up.
Next morning, I was largely fine. But we had to leave early to get where we're going, so more miles, because we needed to get to
this place. This is UTAC Ivalo. It's the most northerly automotive test centre in the world, which seems like the perfect place to automotively test a camper van. There is, however, a lot to see here, so I'm going to take a look around. it's massive. But basically, it's like a giant science lab mixed with a load of different racetracks and facilities and garages and F1 pit lanes, but all for super cold temperatures. So this is where a lot of manufacturers do harsh cold weather testing, because they have to make their cars work from like minus 20 to 50 degrees. And what this place does is just, it kind of aggregates them into one place. So you bring your car up here, you do all of your testing. You can do it in secret because nobody can be asked to drive up to the Arctic Circle.
As far as about secret testing, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, my name is Susan Vuoriaro. I'm an operations director. UTAC Ivalo is the world's northernmost winter proving ground. So on our proving ground here in Ivalo, we have an indoor test facility. So we have a 12 months winter. So when real winter, outdoor winter is over, after mid-April, we move everything to indoors. And there we test on natural snow and ice during the summer months until November when the winter comes back.
So this is the indoor test facility, but I've just driven into a nondescript shed, and then, oh my goodness, it's like a flat indoor ski slope. This is mad. So they do this in summer. So they pack all the snow in here in winter, and then you can continue to do winter testing even when it's warm outside. It just looks really weird. It's like someone got a ski slope and flattened it down and put it in a shed. Now this one is 410 metres long, and that's because the Swedish Indoor Testing Centre has 400 metres. So Ivalo has a bigger, longer run, because bigger is better. But this is so weird. I'm driving on proper snow, proper natural snow, but I'm indoors.
And if you want to make it even more scary, they've got an entire drag strip made of sheet ice. It's probably not for drag racing. Now this facility has all sorts of stuff, from snow tracks to ice circuits to giant freezers to chill your car to blood freezing temperatures. But first, I thought I'd head out onto a simple ice lake to test the California's snow grip.
Right, so this is a kilometre of completely straight, wide open ice lake. So I can do whatever. It's just a completely straight, it's basically like a runway for a kilometre made of snow and ice. So you can do different things on here. You could possibly test some higher speed stability, or it's got a couple of bumps, but you just drive up and down it, or you can do brake tests. So this is basically sheet ice. I'm going to hit the brakes. I'm doing 65 kilometres, 66 kilometres, and hit the brakes. That's actually not that bad. Could you hear the ABS triggering the whole time? Well, this stopped. This is on winter tyres, and it stopped brilliantly. A lot quicker than I thought it would, actually. I thought it'd just pirouette down the road. Now, because this is a test centre, they have all sorts of different surfaces to try. And track 5 is apparently just sheet ice. You can see it's all polished and shiny. So I'm just going to have a little go on it. Oh God. It's just sheet ice. Straight lines. Can you hear the ABS triggering with even the lightest brake pressure? It's like doing really slow motion ballet. But obviously this is really good for a tyre tester. Oh, it's a hairpin. Slowest sideways ever in a Volkswagen California. So instead of just having a patch of ice that you encounter, you can come and actually drive around this track and do the same thing every day to make your tyres work, or your traction control system, or any other control system that's to do with making your car work in a really low temperature environment. Oh, hang on, braking. So I'm struggling for gripping, forwards, backwards braking, sideways, tyres, traction control. I've actually got the TCS switched off, but it doesn't switch off the stability control. So even though my wheels are spinning, it's still trying to brake a rear wheel to stop me spinning out. But do you know what? It actually works. This camper is going around the corners. You have to go slow and you have to be careful, but it's working.
But after all the extreme and extremely slow testing of the day, it was time to find a spot to sleep and possibly see some northern lights. And I ended up here, on an ice lake, about 12 miles from the Russian border. And I needed to set up my little home from home in minus 15 degrees.
So what do you get with the California? Well, I've come up with a list of a few things that I've found most useful. Number 1, sliding doors both sides, electro-hydraulic pop-up roof. And it comes with 3 windows, awning, a table, and 2 chairs, which are perfect for outdoor adventures. My favourite part are these. So basically you get these and they've got magnets in them. So you kind of throw them at the doorway and they're stuck. One extra thing, there is a shower attachment back here over the water tank, but it is cold. So that is not happening.
But as we've mentioned, there's no place for a portable toilet, and I doubt I'd want to pop out when it gets really cold later on. And although it's very space efficient and you do get better at setup, it is a little bit complicated. Lots of folding and slotting things into other things. And again, I find myself wishing for a bit more raw storage. Very clever, but you do have to remember where everything is. Saying that, another night in a properly decamped conditions is the big test of whether this thing works as a camper. It's a pretty decent road car, not too big so you can use it for runs into town and just as a normal car. But this bit is why we're here.
Okay, well, last night was the warm-up. Now it's time for the real deal. It's about minus 10, using a stick, like Bear Grylls. But I'm going to settle down, have a bit of a hot drink, and just consider where I am. Because to be honest, it's blooming beautiful.
Hello. It's about 4:10 and I've slept like a log. I haven't really been outside because that would involve getting dressed. I can't be bothered to do that, but I did lie here with the shades open and just thought about stuff. It's so quiet and so peaceful. It makes you want to cry. Everything's so hectic. Being able to get out here and just, I don't know, be on your own in the absolute stillness. It's beautiful. It's blooming cold and there's nowhere to go for a wee, but it's beautiful.
Cool. Morning. What a hell of a way to wake up.
Okay, so I probably needed to get off the ice before I ate a BMW for breakfast, and away from here generally. But that's already been 3 nights in a new VW California camper in freezing temperatures and about 1,000 miles so far and only one way. And you know what? It works. Hunkered down as a sleep pod or opened out into a more sophisticated campsite, it's a lovely little compromise between a full motorhome and a posh tent.
You know what struck me? At 80 grand, this is a very expensive VW van. but it's actually not much money for a home. And you know what they say, you can sleep in your car, but you can't race your house. And I've just remembered that I've got to drive all the way back to my house, and I really need a shower.